This is the story of a village every day. A man from the village was found dead under a banyan tree. The villagers were shocked and terrified by this. One question haunted everyone. Who was behind all of this? Chaudhary Abad was an ancient village where time seemed to stand still. The people there lived under the shadow of old customs and terrifying tales. In the center of the village, near an old mosque, stood a massive tree, so old that its roots were buried deep into the ground, and its branches reached toward the sky like claws. Locals believed this was no ordinary tree, but a gateway to another world. According to the elders, anyone who went under the tree after sunset either never returned or, if they did, they came back out of their senses, never able to speak again. This tree was called the cursed tree. No one ever dared to cut it down, for those who even thought of doing so were either found dead the next day or met with a tragic accident. But Zara had no interest in these stories. She was a stubborn and fearless girl who thought these tales were mere rural superstitions. She always looked for opportunities to disprove them, believing that fear only existed in the minds of the weak, and nothing like this was real. One evening, as the sky turned red and birds flew back to their nests, Zara challenged her friend Sania. "Do you really believe there's something in that tree?" Zara asked, laughing. Sania looked at the tree with worried eyes. "Zara, this isn't a joke. My grandmother said a man once passed under that tree at night and was found dead the next morning." "His eyes enough, Sania," Zara interrupted with irritation. "Tonight I'll prove it's all nonsense." Sania tried to stop her, but Zara didn't listen. Laughing, she walked up to the tree and shook one of its lowest branches. "See, nothing happened," she whispered. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew. The branches began to sway violently, as if they had come alive. Zara looked around, startled. Whispers echoed faintly in the wind, like someone murmuring secrets into ears. Then, a cold breath brushed against the back of her neck. She stepped back instinctively. The dry twigs under her feet cracked like a loud scream in the silence. Sania screamed and ran without looking back. Zara's heart was pounding, but she stood frozen. For a few seconds, the eyes didn't move. Then, slowly, they receded deeper into the bushes, as if retreating. But someone was there. Gathering courage, Zara asked in a trembling voice, "Who's there?" No reply, only the dry rustling of the branches in the wind. She quickly looked around. Nothing, just twisted, long branches and an eerie silence unlike any normal quiet. Zara shook her head and muttered, "Zara, you're being superstitious. It's just an animal or your imagination." But her heart knew it wasn't just imagination. Suddenly, one branch creaked and bent downward as if someone had grabbed it. Zara jumped back and stared at the tree. Was it just the wind or something else? Then a whisper came, "Zara." Her blood ran cold. The voice was so close, as if someone was standing right next to her ear. "Zara, you finally came." Her lips trembled. This couldn't be real. No one was there, yet the voice had an eerie pull. It filled her with fear and a nameless unease. Then, the red eyes began to emerge from the bushes. Zara's body stepped back on its own. A shadow, darker than the night, moved within the foliage. Her breath became erratic, her heart ready to leap out of her chest. Then, something lunged at her. Zara screamed and stumbled back. Her feet slipped and she fell to the ground. Panicking, she tried to get up, but heard heavy breathing behind her, so close. She could feel the heat on her neck. She tried to crawl away, but the shadow suddenly disappeared into the bushes, as if it was never there. The wind stopped. Silence deepened. She gasped for breath and quickly got up, but again felt someone standing right beside her. So close, yet no one visible. Zara's body froze. Her mind screamed to run, but her legs wouldn't move. You'll come back again." The whisper was so clear that her voice caught in her throat. She turned to look into the darkness, but nothing. Just the tree, the bushes, and the terrifying silence. With all her strength, she broke into a run, as if death itself was chasing her. She slammed her door shut when she reached home and leaned against it, heart racing, palms soaked in sweat. She knew something was out there. Maybe it was all in her head. But those whispers, those red eyes, she bolted her door and rushed to her room. She wanted everything to feel normal again, but it didn't. It was 2 a.m. The house was silent, but sleep escaped her. She kept tossing in bed. It felt like someone was watching her. Then, a faint sound came from outside her window. Her breath halted. She sat up slowly and looked toward the window. Nothing visible, only a pale mist hovering over the ground. She convinced herself it was just her imagination. But as she turned away, there was a knock at the window. Her body froze. Who could it be at this hour? She tiptoed to the window and peeked through the curtain. Nothing, just that mist. She turned to go back, knock, again. But this time, followed by a whisper. Her name, Zara. The same voice from under the tree. Her mind went numb. She backed away. She dropped the curtain in a panic. Her heart pounded uncontrollably. The room lights flickered for a moment. She looked around. Nothing. But in the mirror, for a moment, she saw her reflection blurred, like someone was standing behind her. She turned quickly. No one. But the shadow in the mirror, it had vanished. "What's happening to me?" she whispered to herself. The next morning, the village was abuzz with tension. People gathered near the mosque, whispering with concern. Zara stepped out and asked a group of people, "What's going on? Why does everyone look so worried?" An old woman replied with a trembling voice, "Fahad died last night." Zara's feet froze. "What? How?" "His body was found under the tree near the mosque," said a young man, visibly scared. A chill ran down her spine. Under the tree. People said his face was twisted in terror. His eyes were wide open, as if he had seen something unbearable at the time of death. No wounds, no signs. But his face, it told the story of horror. Zara's throat went dry. She remembered being near that same tree last night. She also recalled hearing footsteps while she was running, but hadn't looked back in fear. Could it have been Fahad? Did he see what she saw? Her mind raced. If he had seen those red eyes too, then maybe that thing killed him. "This tree is cursed," an old man said angrily. "We must cut it down immediately." Some villagers nodded, but the village cleric sighed and said, "This is no ordinary tree. Don't meddle with it. Something lives under it, something unseen, and those who see it never return." Zara's heart pounded. The cleric's words carried weight, like he knew more than he was saying. Fahad's death had triggered a storm of questions in Zara's mind. She knew what happened under the tree wasn't just an accident. It was something beyond human understanding. She tried all day to suppress her fear, but night brought back her restlessness. Eventually, she fell into a nightmare. She saw the same scene, the tree, the darkness. Her body was frozen like stone, gripped by some unseen force. Something was emerging from the tree's roots. A strange hum surrounded her. She tried to open her eyes, but couldn't move. Then, the same whisper, brushing her ear like before.